Hello and welcome back to my channel. Once again, anybody that has missed any of my previous videos, my name is Betty. I am here sharing my personal experiences being married to a narcissist for over 34 years. But I also did previous videos where I connect narcissistic characteristics and behavior to demonic personalities, um, demonic spirits, if you will. Um, I shared a video um, probably about an hour ago. I had done this video on my personal channel, and this video landed us in California when we lived there back when my narcissist was in the military. Um, and we found ourselves living in a haunted house. It was a duplex, actually. A lot of people think houses, oh, a haunted house, anything could be haunted. So we find ourselves there. And there were a lot of things that happened. If you go back and look at my video that I did, you can see it, and then you can come back to this one. Because after I did that video, I thought about it, and it only makes perfect sense to me that if a narcissist has demonic spirits attached to them, to their personality traits, the way they do people, the way they treat people. If that is the case, why wouldn't demonic spirits dwell in their house? You know, that was kind of like my aha moment. You know, I was thinking, because when that stuff was going on, excuse me, I remember the military. I think it was the department, it was medical mental health. I think it was that area. They wanted me because I was the one that was experiencing most of these crazy phenomenal things. They wanted me to sit in the house and ask, who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing? But they told me that it is, and I didn't want to do it. I asked them why me. They said because I was the one mainly being affected by the occurrences that was going on. So, but they also warned me. They said, now, you know, you'll get answers, but it could get violent. So when they said it could get violent, that was an automatic no for me. I didn't want to do it. So I didn't do it. So now coming back, I got to thinking, like I said, if a narcissist is connected to demonic spirits, why wouldn't it be in their house? How could that not factor in some occurrences that are happening in the house that's probably not happening in normal homes where, you know, neither one or somebody is a narcissist? So I got to thinking, maybe this isn't possible because a lot of things I experienced even before I met my husband, that, you know, who ended up being my husband. Um, so I was thinking, okay, well, maybe that can't be the case. But then I got to thinking, things happened when I was very, very young. And my father was the first narcissist that I was introduced to, that was ever in my life. And I had a lot of crazy dreams, and, you know, I saw things when I was younger. So after making that connection, I got to thinking that has to be it, because there were several times my mother attempted to leave my father, and we would move somewhere else. We would live somewhere where he didn't know where we were, and I didn't have dreams and stuff like that then. I remember I didn't have nightmares until my dad started coming back around. So, so I got to thinking, the times I was married, uh, it made me think back when my mom died. I was 31, and at that time I was really going through a heavily spiritual time in my life. I was having outer body experiences. I was seeing my mother, appear in front of the TV, and then she was gone. So one time, if you look back to my videos, there's a video and it's called Mr. Williams. When I was 4 years old, we had a neighbor that lived next door to us, and I remember telling my mother I wouldn't shake his hand because Mr. Williams was the devil. My mom died when I was 31, and I had an outer body experience, and I believe I put that on the video with Mr. Williams. When I came downstairs during this outer body experience, I learned to, later it was called spirit travel. I came downstairs and there was this thing sitting on my couch, and if anybody has ever seen Beetlejuice, it looked like that thing that was on Beetlejuice that had died in the fire. That's what was sitting on my couch, and I guess I was spirit formed. So I asked, who was it? Why are you here? And he kind of had this maniacal laugh, and he told me he had walked the earth for many years, thousands of years, and he is known by many things, but I would know him as Mr. Williams. And when he said that, it was just a clarification for me. Years ago, I would always tell my mother, even from the time I was 4 up until I got older and 15 and 16 and talking to my mom, Mr. Williams was the devil. That was a clarification for me. So I remember during that conversation with this demonic spirit, I remember I asked, I remember it telling me it couldn't touch me, but it could get around me. And, spirits are very deceitful. So that had me thinking in a future, tense, like it was going to try to do things to me through my children. Because at that time, my children were, preteen, early teen. And that's what I was thinking. But then as fast forward to now, well, no, it wasn't just now. It was some years back. Now I would say 10 years ago. After that experience with Mr. Williams, I would sometimes have this face, this, it was a pale green face appear in my face, and then it would be gone so quick to the point where I couldn't catch the identity of who it was or what it was. It would just appear and it would be gone, and it wasn't no certain time. I didn't have to be going through anything. I would just be sitting there, and then all of a sudden this ugly face would flash and it would be gone, and I could never pinpoint who it was until 10 years ago when I finally left my marriage, and I was in a place of my own, and I was sitting there, and this face appeared before me, and this time it was visible long enough for me to see whose face it was, and then it was gone just that quick. And the face that I saw was my ex-husband's face. So when I think about the things that I went through, these haunted houses, well, then I didn't even connect the haunted houses. I connected the treatment that he did, the things that I went through with him. He was so cruel to me that when he would cheat on me, he would laugh about it in my face, and yeah, I did it. What you gonna do? So when I think of all the cruel things, it couldn't have been nothing but a demonic spirit, that was running him. So I thought about the times that we lived in, when Mr. Williams said that he couldn't get me, but he could get around me. It wasn't through my children at all. Because my children have a lot of the same gifts I do. Now, granted, some of my kids, they went through little things, teenage stuff. Some things got a little serious, but I'm not going to talk about my children's experiences. But I think about some of the experience, and I got to thinking, when he said he could get around me, spirits are so deceitful. What I didn't realize is he had already attacked me. He had already placed somebody in my path to get me, as he was saying, which it was my husband. It was my ex-husband. Because the years being married to him was so oppressive. It was so depressive. It was full of tension. It was always on the edge. It was always, you never knew how he was going to react to anything. Sometimes people go, oh, well, you've been married so long. Well, you know how he act. He would react different in every situation. So, it was impossible to know, okay, he'll take it this way this time. No, that was never the case. So, putting two and two together, and almost every home we lived in together, there was some kind of crazy activity that happened that nobody could explain. And I know it stopped after I moved out. It was funny because my daughter, she moved out some years before me. And she said after she moved out, she never had any more spiritual issues that happened in our house. Because there were quite a few when, she experienced things. She didn't have any more after she left. After I finally left the marriage and moved out, other than that face that I saw, and then it was gone, I didn't have any more issues after that. I didn't have any more experiences after that. Other than regular spiritual travel, spirit travel, different places, I didn't have any more after that. And that's crazy because I didn't connect that at first. So now I'm going to open another part of this series, and I am going to go through some of the homes I lived in, and some of the experiences that I had in those homes. And it was all when I was married to a narcissist. So, man, it's really like the Most High is opening up my eyes to the point where I'm connecting the dots here, there, and grabbing them together, because I never considered that the things that happened in our house was due to that. Well, because I always had those kind of issues. And I thought maybe it was because of, the gifts that I have. I've always had dreams, visions, and everything. So I thought, well, maybe that's what it was. But that wasn't it. Because my father, like I said, I'm down here, was the first narcissist. And yeah. So that's where they started. That's where they started. So I'm going to share with the next few videos it'll be sharing um, as far as my experiences and how the demonic spirits connected to a narcissist are definitely in the homes of people that are living with narcissists. If you notice the tension and the walking on eggshells and all that. Yeah, that's all connected. So I will be sharing that next time. If this is helpful to you or of any interest, please click like, share, and considering subscribing. Thanks again and have a good evening. Bye-bye.